Hi, I'm Professor Ralph E. Godbolt, and you're watching Point of View.
What's your point of view? It is your view. Point of view, point of view. What's your point of view? Tell me what's your point of view? What's your point of view? Tell me. What's your point of view? It is your view. Point of view, point of view. What's your point of view? It's time to hear from you. Welcome to Point of View.
Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to Point of View. We are here with Ralph E. Godbolt, the author of Kickin the Ballistics, and he's going to talk with us about his book and share with us, and we just going to get deep down into it because this is an awesome book and it has some awesome information that everybody can get something out of. How are you doing today?
Terrific. Great to be here.
First, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a professor at Cheney University, so tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. I grew up actually in inner city Pittsburgh. It's not often you have someone come from urban America, poor urban America, and end up in academia. So I've been extraordinarily blessed. We had some great opportunities. As you mentioned, I am a professor at the graduate school, the master's program at Cheney University, also at the Department of Sociology at Holy Family University, and president and CEO of an organization called Hip Hop Inc., which is a youth development organization up in Montgomery County, PA.
Wow, you got a full plate.
I'll try. We're trying to make a difference.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. So let's talk about the one of the chapters in your book, Kickin the Ballistics, the common sense chapter. Talk to us a little bit about what that means.
I'm a sociologist. So, each of us we approach life, we approach society with some form of common sense. Common sense is essentially the information that we're taught. So in the positive sense, we know to look both ways before we cross the street based on common sense. That's what we're taught. A more important sense, a child who may participate in the underground economy. If dad, big brother, everybody else in the neighborhood is hustling, right, that now becomes that child's common sense. Is what they know. Right? So common sense is essentially our knowledge that comes from whether it's family, environment, community, media, but it's what we know and how we approach society. As a sociologist, we argue that people should challenge their common sense. And not necessarily accept somebody else's common sense or agree with somebody else's common sense, but challenge your own in order to attempt to understand where someone else is coming from. So it's easy if I grew up in suburban America to say, I would never sell drugs. And you may use it, but I would never sell drugs because that's horrible. Right, without taking a step back and essentially asking, well, why do people sell drugs? I may never sell drugs because I may not have a financial incentive to sell drugs. Someone with a financial incentive, by definition, may therefore have a financial incentive to sell drugs and do so. Another example would be homosexuality. Right, it's easy for me as a straight person, to say, I disagree with homosexuality, and those people are choosing to be gay. Challenging my common sense would allow me to ask myself, well, when did I choose to be homosexual? Or is it possible someone is born gay? So challenging and understanding sociology is extraordinarily important to attempt to move beyond your own reality, your own experience, your own teachings, and begin the process of asking, is it possible? Is it possible that kids in Chester may drop out of high school more so than kids in more affluent neighborhoods, not because they do not care about education, but because there's a huge disparity in how we fund education. Is it possible? And so that's essentially what that chapter challenges the reader to do, is to ask, is it possible that someone else's reality may not be the same as mine, and those differences may impact decision making?
That's a good way to look at it, because if we look at a child doing something, first thing we say, use your common sense. Well, technically, they are using their common sense. Exactly. Okay.
It's really what we're attempting to say to a child, use our common sense. And, but no, you're correct. Yeah, technically, they're using their common sense. Yeah.
So we have to kind of think differently when we're looking at somebody do something like I wouldn't do that. That's not common sense, but that's not my common sense.
Exactly.
That is a good point. Note to self. Common sense. We each have a different level of common sense depending on where we come from.
Right. And we need to at times challenge our common sense, because number one, our common sense may not be true for everyone else, but then there's also part of our common sense that simply may not be true. So let me give you an example. I'm not sure if you've heard the guy who formerly worked at the NAACP, who was
You can share it with us.
okay, well, Obama nominated a guy who formerly worked for NAACP, right, and as the chief civil rights officer for the Department of Justice. Right? And this nomination was denied essentially because he helped to defend Mumia Abdul-Jamal. Well, we could argue that one back and forth, but it was a panel discussion. And someone came up and made the statement, well, he helped to free Mumia Abdul-Jamal. And I said, no. Mumia Abdul-Jamal's in jail. He defended on the death penalty part, not whether not guilty or not. No. He helped to free Mumia. That was her common sense. She got that from somewhere. I'm assuming conservative media, but she got that from somewhere. Right, so it now became part of her common sense. And eventually I pulled out the laptop, pulled out the Department of Corrections information. You could search inmates, search his name. Yeah, he's locked up. But again, sometimes our common sense is just simply not true. Right, and so if we're not challenging our common sense, we may not be, we may walk around life assuming things that are just simply not accurate, and that's an example of it.
Well, that's definitely a good point. Now you have another chapter in here called the hip hop generation. Talk to us a little bit about that.
That chapter talks about the common sense of the hip hop generation. So the hip hop generation are urban Americans born between 1964 and 1984. 64 is the key year because 64 is the signing of the Civil Rights Act. So in theory, in 64, all of Americans were now equal. There were no legal barriers to opportunity. So the hip-hop generation is the generation born into this America where, in theory, folk were equal. The hip-hop generation is also the generation born into the post-industrial revolution. So as I look around Chester, if I go back to 1964 in Chester, the majority of men were working in local factories and steel mills. And those jobs were more or less guaranteed. Urban America was built to serve factories and steel mills. We have row houses because we attempted to house as many people as possible close to factories and steel mills, right? So urban America is built to serve that industry. Around 1970, the post-industrial revolution began. And understand something, before 1973, the majority of black men were in the household. I just want to make that point. I'll get back there in a second. So the post-industrial revolution began, which is the movement of manufacturing jobs, the laws of industry in urban America. In 1970, Detroit had the highest per capita income in the country. Now we all know it's one of the poorest in the world. They lost 800,000 jobs, replaced with nothing. Pittsburgh, PA, lost 100,000 jobs replaced with nothing. Philadelphia, 500,000 replaced with nothing. Chester, 90,000 replaced with nothing. So now you have a drastic reduction in employment, a drastic reduction in tax base, a drastic reduction in the number of men by definition who are employed. And what impact does that have on community? How do we define manhood? How do we define relationships, right? And so the hip-hop generation is that generation born into the post-industrial revolution. The hip-hop generation is also a generation born into a new identification of poverty. If we think back to the movie Annie, the Hard Knock Life, we think back to that movie, right, which were, depicted to be the 1930s. That movie is very sympathetic to those in poverty. Annie's a little Caucasian girl, right, and there was this belief that, as a society, we have responsibility to help Annie. Fast forward to about 1960s on to now, the image of poverty changed from the sympathetic Caucasian person, Caucasian family, to an image of the welfare queen, so to an image of folk who are undeserving to be in poverty, or to be on welfare public assistance. This actually ties back to being incorrect in reference to common sense. So, as we look at women on public assistance, right, for many people, our common sense, and man, she's having child after child. This lays on average, you're having 4, 5, 6 kids, right? The reality is the average person on welfare has between 1 and 2 kids, right? So we're defining poverty based on false common sense. The hip hop generation is that generation born into this new definition of poverty. At the same time, there's been an increase of poverty loss in manufacturing jobs, right? The hip hop generation. So let's think about this. So, as hundreds of thousands of people are losing jobs, at the time, welfare policies discourage nuclear families. So you could have hundreds of thousands, millions of people losing jobs. You have families going onto welfare. Dad, at this point now, cannot stay with the family, right? So you can force dad out the household. So prior to 1973, the majority of men were in the household. Post 1973, we had baby moms, baby dads. But you could trace that back to the post-industrial revolution. But now what happens is that men being out of the household now becomes the common sense. If I'm in a household where dad's not there, the neighbors, dad's not their neighbor. But that's now is my common sense for dad not to be in the household. But we could trace that back to the post-industrial revolution. But think about this. As dad is forced out the household, as dad, loses a job he's been working for 20 years, right? Without any transferable skills. I mean, dad's skill is building cars, right? Dad's not an accountant, right? So lose that job, right? 20 years, unemployment is only 6 months, right? So, so after 6 months, you lose unemployment. Folk are a little upset, right? So folk begin to self-medicate. So you see an increase in alcohol usage, increase in drug usage, folk are getting high. At the same time, you have millions of people unemployed, huge increase in number of people self-medicating. Somebody somewhere invented crack cocaine. As we know, crack cocaine wreaked havoc on urban communities. And in many communities, the crack game or underground economy can replace the manufacturing game as the number one employer. So the hip hop generation is also a generation that came of age during the crack epidemic. For many of us, our first or very early sexual experience was with a mother or a sister of a friend who is now addicted to crack, who's walking up and down the street, asking to perform sexual favors for $10. But what that's also going to do is impact how we now look at women. So music transitioned from the Motown courtship type music to the Cash Money, Project B hood rap beat, right? But again, there's a reason that this is happening, right? And that's part of the common sense of the hip hop generation. So that chapter attempts to frame urban America by the present day realities of urban America by looking at the common sense of those who are presently living in urban America, raising kids in urban America, and attempting to maneuver through the day-to-day realities of urban America.
Wow, that is a lot of good information. I want to thank you for tuning in. So you stay right there. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Point of View. They said another child went missing on the news.
He left out of here earlier today. He's been gone all day.
Tell me you got rid of those things.
I threw that nasty hoodie in the trash out there.
What's wrong with you, Jay? What are you holding on to that for? Get rid of it now.
He wants your soul.
Who that?
What did I want to? Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
for my new show, Kids Point of View. We're gonna be singing, dancing, and having so much fun. So stay tuned.
Love is patient. Love is kind.
Hey, yo, keep it G with me, though. You putting your hands on Tracy?
Yeah, I hit her. What? Anytime she get disrespectful or she get out of pocket, I put her on her ass.
It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud.
The fish and the scrimps. The scrimps and the... Okay. Hey, and what can I get for you?
It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking.
You're such a nice guy.
Appreciate it.
I need somebody positive in my life.
It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrong.
What are you crying for? Huh? I ain't even hit you that hard. Now get up, get in there, and cook me some dinner. Now!
Love does not delight in evil, but it rejoices with the truth.
What you talking about? My pop raised me, and that's where I get it from.
I was also a victim of domestic violence. Tracy, please remember that you are strong.
What's up, man? You feel like taking me up here so I can make these drops real quick?
Nigga, you still trapping?
Trapping?
Yeah.
That's what these young boys out here doing, nigga. I push weight.
But I'm saying though, Chris, what you doing for yourself, man?
Yeah, I really need to talk to you about something. Trace, you know you can talk to me about whatever it is you want to talk about. You're my best friend. You know, this is serious.
It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres.
If he puts his hands on you one more time, I want you to take this gun. Take it. No. Yeah. What do you mean you can't? Girl, look, he loves me. What? I'm tired, Chris.
Girl, he loves me.
And I'm Darnell Richardson.
Make sure that you like us on Facebook at I Am a Philly Artist TV.
And follow us on Twitter at iPhillyArtist. You can also check out our website for awesome articles and other things arts-wise at www.iamaphillyartist.net.
Welcome back, and we thank you for staying tuned. Now here's more of Point of View. A lot of people say hip-hop this, hip-hop that. We don't understand it. This book is going to help you understand it.
Think about hip-hop, good and bad. It's that hip-hop is the voice of urban America. I tell people, if we look at Lifetime, this Lifetime network, very rarely do you see urban America depicted on Lifetime. If we look at HGTV, if I watch House Hunters, I'm never going to see House Hunters in Chester, but folk are buying houses here, right? So I'm never going to see House Hunters in Chester. If I go around the country, I ask people who is Natalie Holloway. Average person would know she's a missing teenager. Who's Lacey Pearson? Average person would know she was murdered or her husband's convicted of her homicide. Who's Latoya Figaro? Young woman from West Philadelphia, actually who's found dead here in Chester. The average person would not know. So the realities of urban America is not being communicated in mainstream America. And hip-hop, for its good and its bad, it becomes the only voice of urban America. So when NWA, sang F the police years ago, either they were lying, which a lot of people at the time implied, or as the Rodney King tape came out within a couple months after that song, I don't know, maybe they were communicating their common sense, their reality. And that's where the importance of hip-hop is that really does become the voice of urban America. With Biggie, at the beginning of the song Juicy, this album is dedicated to all of those teachers who never told me I'll amount to anything, right? So not one or two, but all of those teachers, right? And but once we research high school dropouts and African American males, that's communicated a great deal. There's a disconnect between education and specifically African American males. Hip hop is often explain or talk about those realities. Yeah, so so there's a lot of negative connotations associated with hip hop, but the reality is, until mainstream America starts to help expand the voice of urban America, hip hop is the only voice.
That is very true. Now, talk to us a little bit about the organization that you're a part of, the hip hop organization.
So Hip Hop Inc. Is a program up in Pottstown, PA, Montgomery County that serves kids from 5th grade to 12th grade. And 2 programs. One is called Star is Born. At this program, which is a 5th through 8th grade program, it's a dropout prevention program. We can identify, let's say we researchers, can identify kids as early as 3rd grade and clearly by 6th grade who are going to drop out of high school. I mean, we can identify that early. And they'll generally drop out by 9th or 10th grade. So we could catch them around 5th or 6th and essentially help them through his middle school years, remove some of those risk factors. That's when dropout prevention programs should happen. So Star is Born is a dropout prevention program that really seeks to enhance communication. They actually recently published a book about the realities of Pottstown. I'll share that with you. The second program, which is a 9th through 12th grade program, is a program called Hip Hop Live, which is essentially an online television show. So what we're doing is that we're transitioning kids that still now finishing 8th grade from a dropout prevention program now to a college preparation program. So we follow kids from 5th grade through graduation, then ideally, beyond staying in college, but specifically 5th grade through 12th grade in those 2 programs. And it's a very successful organization so far.
Awesome. If someone wanted to get in contact with you, to get in contact, with the program, how can they do that?
Sure. You can, 2 ways. www.hiphopinc.org or www.ralphegodbolt, so RALPHEGODBOLT.com.
Okay. Now, is that the same way they can actually get a copy of these books?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Kickin the Ballistics, Reflections on the Hip Hop Generation, Poverty and Power. As you can see, it has a lot of good information of understanding the generation, which a lot of people are trying to do. So we thank you so much for taking the time to come out. All of his information will be listed at the end of this clip, so get in contact with him if you want to get involved with the hip-hop project, or if you want to get one of these books. Thank you for tuning in to Point of View.
Dear Jesus, so kind, I'm so in love with you. I love you, I need you. You are so beautiful. I love you, I need you. You are so beautiful. Diamonds in the sky, they shine like stars before my eyes. You picked every flower that I see to show me how much you love me. My favorite colors you put on the trees. You just keep on blessing me. Dear Jesus, so God, I'm so in love with you. So beautiful, beautiful. Jesus, so good. I'm so in love with you. And I love you. I need you. You are so beautiful. Dear Jesus, so good. I'm so in love with you. Every day, every time I pray, I'm listening just to hear you say I love you and I need you. You are so beautiful. I love you, I need you. You are so beautiful. I love you. I love you. I need you. You are so beautiful. So beautiful. So beautiful. Beautiful. Oh God, I love you and I need you. I love you. I love you. I need you. God, I love you. I need you. I love you. I love you.
They said another child went missing on the news.
No, he left out of here earlier today. He's been gone all day.
Tell me you got rid of those things.
I threw that nasty hoodie in the trash out there.
What's wrong with you, Jay? What are you holding on to that for? Get rid of it now.
He wants your soul.
Who that?
What did I want to? Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
Hello everybody, my name is Joy Ballistics, and I want you to stay tuned for my new show, Kids Point of View. We're gonna be singing, dancing, and having so much fun. So stay tuned.
Hello everyone, I am Amanda Johnson.
And I'm Darnell Richardson.
Make sure that you like us on Facebook at I Am a Philly Artist TV.
And follow us on Twitter at iPhillyArt. You can also check out our website for awesome articles and other things arts-wise at www.iamaphillyartist.net.
What's your point of view? It is your view. Point of view. Point of view. What's your point of view? Tell me what's your point of view? What's your point of view? Tell me. What's your point of view? It is your view. Point of view. Point of view. What's your point of view? It's time to hear